Welcome back to the channel, guys. Now today I have for you not a review, a little look at the Nikon D800E and the Nikon 70-200 f2.8. Now these are on loan to me from Photo and Video, so I want to thank you guys for lending me this equipment for me to test these things on my channel. Now, like I said at the start, this is not a review. This is a lens and a camera, I should say, that I've wanted to have a look at for a long time. So going back to 2012 when this camera came out, I had a Nikon D800E, and that was 12 megapixels, APS-C, great little camera. Really was. Built really tough, semi-professional type camera. And then I went into one of the photo shops and I saw this D800E, or I saw the D800 I should say, D800E I didn't. The D800, I saw some photos taken with this and it blew me away. 36 megapixels from a full frame camera was pretty much unheard of then, and the photo that I saw, it just amazed me. Like, there was so much detail. It was a photo of inside of this old library over in Europe somewhere, and the amount of detail when it zoomed into specific parts of the image is just incredible detail. And I thought, I've got to have that. and so I put my name down for one for when they come in. But over time, over the next few months, I think it was probably 4 or 5 months, I kept getting updates from the shop saying that when I'd ring them up and ask them about it, that they only had a few units come in and that none of them were mine. And it was starting to get a bit tiresome, month after month, not being able to get my hands on one of these cameras. So in the end I just gave up. I went to the Nikon D600, which was introduced later that year, 24 megapixels. Twice as big a sensor and twice as many megapixels. So that did me for a few years. But anyway, ever since then I've always wanted to have a look at one of these D800s. And I've got the chance over the last few days to borrow this and to have a look at it. It's well built. I mean, it's tough. It's like Nikon's professional range of cameras. It hasn't got a PASM dial. Instead, you've got a mode button up here that you switch to different modes. But it's got all the controls like the quality of your photos. You've got bracketing, white balance and ISO buttons at the top there. You've got a exposure compensation button up here. All the buttons you need on the back there for play and magnifying and locking it, picture profiles. You've got a dial up here, that around here, for the different shooting modes. It's on continuous low at the moment. Also borrowed this 70-200 f2.8 lens. Now this is one of the earlier versions of this lens in the digital age, and it works really well. Made for professional use, made out of metal. Very heavy lens though, compared to the mirrorless cameras that I've been using lately. And that's where I find this difficult to handle now, because that there, the body 1 kilo, the lens 1.5 kilos, so you got 2.5 kilos there in weight. Now don't get me wrong, it's a good combo. It helps to keep things steady because of the weight and you're not sort of moving all over the place. But saying that, as I'm getting older, I'm into my 60s now, and I'm finding that it's just too heavy for everyday sort of use. The problem being is that I've been used to mirrorless cameras with their lightweight lenses, the lightweight bodies, and so going back to an older camera that weighs a ton, same with the lenses, is, yeah, it's not something I really want to continue on with now. I look at it this way. As a youngster, I was always into cars, and I'd seen these fancy sports cars, and I thought that'd be great to own, great to drive. Maybe at the time they might have been, but now as I've grown up and been used to more modern cars, if I go back to an older car from say 30, 40 years ago, I'm going to find it old and clunky, and it's just not the same. You get used to a certain level of comfort and technical specs and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. It's a bit the same with the cameras. I think for some people they might like to go back to the older style cameras. For me, I don't. I like my mirrorless cameras. The lenses, the smaller and lighter a lot of the times. But saying that, you still can get some heavy lenses for mirrorless systems, I know that. And same with the cameras. I borrowed a Panasonic S1R a few weeks ago and did a little bit of a review on that. And that camera itself is the same weight as this D800, about 1 kilo. So yes, you can get mirrorless cameras that are as big and heavy as an old DSLR, but on the whole, most of them are smaller and lighter. I went out, took a few photos with it. I wasn't interested in doing any video clips with it because it's not not really meant for video. It's really meant for photos. So I tested it out. Like I say, I've only had it for a few days. I've got to return it today, so I haven't got the time with it that I really wanted to spend with it. But never mind, it's a quick look back at something that I wanted to own from over 12 years ago and never got the chance to. But now I've got to play with this camera and lens combo, and yeah, it's not for me. It's just too big and heavy for me now. I wouldn't want to carry that around, especially on a hiking trip. It's just too much weight, especially if you wanted to include like a 24 to 70 lens as well. You're going to add at least half a kilo or more to that as well, so you're going to up over 3 kilos just for 2 lenses in one camera. My Panasonic S5, I own that, and one of the prime lenses, we're looking at about 1 kilo in weight for the whole combo. With the 20 to 60, you're looking at just a bit over 1 kilo. So that combo there is weighty as just that camera. But it's a nice camera, and it will suit a lot of people, especially on a budget, if they can't afford a mirrorless camera. These used, I think this is done somewhere in the region of 30,000 clicks, I think, shutter clicks, if my memory serves me correct, and it's $1,000 New Zealand. So if you can get a mirrorless camera 36 megapixels, go for it at that same price. But if you're wanting to get into photography on a budget and have a high megapixel count, a body like this is great. And you can pick up these old f-mount lenses. There's lots of them on the market. Still like that old sound of the shutter, the mirror flipping up and the shutter going. But it's noisy, like it's a loud shutter click, and you don't want to be in a quiet environment, with hearing that all the time, it's just not, yeah, you want to put it in silent mode. It can go a bit quieter if you put the mirror up, and then, but it's still got quite a loud noise. But yeah, looking through an optical viewfinder as well is quite different to the EVFs that you have on mirrorless cameras. But anyway, I'll stop rambling, and I'll show you some of the photos I took with this camera and the lens combo, and see what you think. And that's one thing I still can't get used to, even though after using Nikons for so long and switching between brands, is the lens goes on the opposite way to pretty much everybody else. Put on and turn it clockwise when you've got the camera this way. Yeah, it's always going to be different, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you like those photos, and sorry about all the rambling, but it's just something I wanted to have a look at. A D800, in this case the D800E, that the E model being the one without the AA filter on it, so you get a little bit more sharpness from it. But yeah, 36 megapixels on full frame in 2012 was very new to the market, and of course obviously a lot of people wanted that 36 megapixels instead of 12 or 24 or 20, some of the Canon cameras I believe. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.